First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baharakah Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Now, these individuals from ISUPK and RUIC, because they pretty much have the same breakdown, are determined to cast confusion over the mark of the beast. We here at Great Millstone, beginning with the apostles and elders, have broken it down and we've made it plain that the mark of the beast is the implantable RFID chip, and that is going to allow you to access the mark of the beast infrastructure or the system, which will encompass the entire digital prison, the CBDCs, the internet, it's all part of that system. The digital ID, it's all part of that system. But the actual mark is when they implant you with that chip. Okay. I mean, these guys have said that the mark of the beast is an embargo. It's sin. It's the white woman. I mean, all kinds of confusion. They said that Solomon had the mark of the beast. This is before the beast even existed. Now they're trying to say Emperor Nero was giving out the mark of the beast, and it was it's all confusion. Okay. They try and confuse you as to whether it's going to be nations that receive the mark or individuals. And it's sad to see. All right, so when you go to Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, Nate breaks this down that the small and great is talking about small nations and great nations, and he's saying rich and poor, and he's saying that's talking about rich nations and poor nations, and free and bond is talking about free nations and bond nations, which all nations are in debt, so they're all in bondage to the international bankers. But anyway, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So he's saying that this applies to an actual country or nation, or in a modern day, a corporation. All right, which doesn't make any sense, because why would the Lord then warn us individually, all right, to not take the mark, right? Revelations 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, that's an individual, and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, is the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And not to mention, the scriptures mention that certain men are going to be beheaded for not receiving the mark. Yet still, Nate would want you to believe that, in this scripture, it's talking about nations, which doesn't make any sense. Then they try to say, well, buying and selling. So when you go to verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And he was like, well, buying and selling, what's another word for that? Trade. That's what nations do. Well, yes, nations trade, but so do individuals. If you go into a shop and you buy a Snickers bar, you've just traded. You traded fiat currency for that Snickers bar. Okay. Trade isn't something which is exclusive in its definition to or limited to that being on a national level. Trade is any time there's an exchange in goods and services, and that includes individuals. So these guys are just, they're trying to be slick. I believe they've been given this goofy breakdown because over the years, as their doctrine has evolved to combat us, both IUIC and ICPK have literally come up with the same talking points, which leads me to believe that the source of their rebuttals is the same. That's just what I believe, though. Either way, it's Satan. All right. It says, the activity trade is the activity of buying and selling or exchanging goods or services between people or countries. So it doesn't have to be between countries. It can be between people, meaning individuals. And that's what it is. The state, the country, the state is the one that's going to cause all of its citizens to receive that mark. And if you're a citizen, you're going to have that mark. That's what's going to happen. And, like I said, we don't bring no confusion. We make it very clear, crystal clear, that the implantable RFID chip will be made mandatory in order to buy and sell or to partake in this ESOL system. And if you take that mark, you're going to be destroyed. There's no confusion there. All right. But, these dudes, they're set up, man. They're set up to cause Jake to be in a state of confusion that they may be taken. All right, but we dispel that confusion. If you watch this video, you have no excuse. Let it be abundantly clear that we at Great Millstone believe and teach, rightly so, that the mark of the beast is the implantable RFID chip, right, which is going to allow you to utilize the motb infrastructure to buy and sell and receive goods and services. Okay? Simple. You've been warned. Shalom.